been the golf world's greatest stage. It's where Bobby Jones started the tournament as a gathering of friends. And Gene Sarazen turned it to high drama with the double eagle of 1935. It's where a pair of Texans held a shootout and Nelson beat Hogan by a stroke. And where yet another Texan put his own brand on the Masters, Jimmy Demaret, the first three-time winner. It's where Sam Snead dominated in the early 50s before a kid from Pennsylvania took the reins. And Arnold Palmer was the first to win 4 times. It's where Jack Nicklaus won back-to-back titles and a record 5th on a storied putt in 1975. Since then, it's a tournament that has featured the sure touch of Tom Watson.
Got a chance. Tom Watson.
And the raw power of Seve Ballesteros, 2-time champion and a leader again this year. It's where we've seen and shared the joy of Ben Crenshaw. And last year's heartbreak of Curtis Strange. He found the water on the second nine's par 5. And so gave way to the closing charge of West Germany's Bernhard Langer. The Augusta National, golf's greatest stage. The Masters, a tradition unlike any other.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the 1986 Masters Tournament. As in the past, the club will continue the policy of limited commercial interruptions so that the viewer will not be denied any of the live action. This unique policy could not be implemented without the cooperation of our 2 television sponsors, Cadillac Motor Car Division of General Motors and the Travelers Company. And now, on behalf of all involved, we hope you enjoy the tournament.
CBS Sports is proud to present the 1986 Masters Tournament, sponsored by The Travelers, one of America's strongest, most experienced financial experts, and by Cadillac Motor Car Division and your Cadillac dealer.
The tournament began Thursday morning. One of the honorary starters, Gene Sarazen, watch his feet. Same move he's back in 1935. Playing alongside Gene Thursday morning as one of the starters, Sam Snead, the 3-time Masters champion. He's now 75, but he's still got that graceful swing. Much as anything, the wind really dominated the first round here at Augusta. But Bill Kretzert from Fort Wayne, Indiana, had a steady hand on that Thursday. He shot a 468 and shared the first round lead with Ken Green, who demonstrated a putting touch like this. But then it was round 2, and the golfer everyone fears, Seve Ballesteros, made a move on the leaderboard. An eagle on 15, and Seve would move to 5 under par. Then it was round 3 yesterday. This story belonged to Nick Price. After a first hole bogey, 10 birdies, and almost an 11 at 18, but he still wound up with the course record, 63. But the man who moved to the top of the leaderboard was Greg Norman of Australia with that birdie putt at 17, and Seve Ballesteros went bogey, and there you see that Bernhard Langer, last year's Masters champion, has moved into a tie with Norman. Langer birdied number 2. Norman has been a magician just to stay at 6 under par so far on the front 9. And how about Jay Haas? He started the day even par, and he went 5 under through the first 8. And now, of course, he is trying to battle his way through Amen Corner and make that home stretch run where he will have the clubhouse lead if he can keep his game together. Also, within striking distance, Bob Tway and Donnie Hammond are there. And Tom Watson has lost a shot, and he is now 3 under par through 7 holes here on the final round at Augusta. The weather conditions today, absolutely gorgeous. If you could just describe the day that you wanted to play golf, you would pick this one. It's warm, 85 degrees. Look, at very little wind to bother these players when they come through that treacherous Amen Corner at 11, 12, and 13. Now let's go out and meet the gentlemen who are going to be describing the action for you here this afternoon at Augusta. Let's start at the 10th hole.
I'm Bob Murphy. I'll be at the 10th hole, the 485-yard par 4. You can see that the difficulty of this hole is playing over par, 4.2. The pin today is in the back left, and the danger, of course, will be hitting the ball over the green or to the left, leaving a very difficult chip shot.
I'm Steve Melnick, and I'll be at the 11th hole, a 455-yard par 4. Degree of difficulty this week, 4.17. Today's pin placement cut near the small pond brings it very much into play. And I'll be at the 12th hole, a 162-yard par 3. Through 3 days, the degree of difficulty, 3.16. Today's pin placement in the back right brings that water very much into play as well.
I'm Ken Ventura, and I'll be at the 13th hole, a 465-yard par 5. 4 bunkers behind the green, but a creek protects the front of the green and the right side. Don't let the scoring here fool you. They've had 8 eagles. It's a beautiful hole, requires talent and experience. Today, the pin is in the right side of the green. It'll take its toll today, but undoubtedly, it's the most beautiful hole at Augusta.
I'm Gary McCord. I'll be on the 14th hole. Par 4, dog leg to the left, slightly uphill. This hole is characterized by the most severe green on the golf course. It has a huge ridge that runs the width of this green. The pin placement today will be virtually inaccessible.
I'm Ben Wright. I'll be reporting the play from the 15th hole, a 500-yard straightaway par 5, where a big drive is required to the top of the hill if the player is to attempt a big carry over a pond in front of the shallow green.
I'm Jim Nance. I'll be at the 16th hole, 182 yards par 3. Golfers will hit middle irons to a menacing green, which will slope toward the water, and today's pin placement on the back left will favor the golfer who can bring it in from right to left.
I'm Vern Lundquist. I'll be at the 17th hole, a straight uphill par 4 measuring 400 yards. The pin today is cut back right, which takes the front bunker out of play, but leaves real problems for those going over the green. And I'm Pat Summerall. I'll be at 18, a 405-yard par 4. The finishing hole has trees on the right, bunkers on the left, a very narrow landing area. Whoever emerges as a champion when he makes the walk up that hill will experience one of the great moments in sport. Welcome, everybody. I'm Brent Musburger down in the Butler cabin, where about 3 hours from now, of course, the Green Jacket, the most prestigious prize in all of golf, will be awarded to the 1986 Masters champion. What a scramble. This could be a day we wind up with a playoff, and if they do, the golfers will immediately, Tom Weiskopf, go over to the 10th tee and put it up there. Now, let me ask you, what does it take to win here today? What do you have to have?
Well, Augusta is unlike any of the other majors, Brent. There is no rough here. It has wide fairways, but you need strategy off the tee because it is really a second-shot golf course, meaning that you must put the ball in a position on the green to keep away from 3 putting all the time, putting pressure on your short game. It also favors the power player, the high ball hitter with a lot of spin to keep the ball up on those ledges, and they have to putt well here, and all of these players do just that.
Now, let's go out to the 6th hole here on the front 9.
6 is a par 3, measuring today at 192 yards. Elevated tee perhaps 30 feet above the green, and the pin is cut back left some 24 yards from the front, so that bunker really shouldn't come into play, but the danger is keeping it left and kicking it off the green to the left. Bernhard Longer at 6 under par. Perhaps the most difficult task in golf to repeat as the Masters champion. It's only been done once, and he is the defending champion, of course. There's a large knoll on the right side of the green. You want to stay away from that. And Longer has left himself quite some distance. Now his fellow competitor, Donnie Hammond. I told you all yesterday he was a gallery guard here back when he was a teenager. Primarily at the 13th hole. What a thrill it must be for him to play in his first Masters and to be in contention on the final day. Hammond currently at -3.
Never tried it. Go with it if you want.
Bogeyed the 5th hole. 3 under, having lost 2 shots at par today. Now, Bernhard Longer did not reach the green. Tom Weiskopf, this is a real task here, isn't it? Club selection.
It is, Vern, because you're playing so much downhill. There's a change of elevation, maybe close to 30 or 40 feet. And that pin is protected by that huge bunker. And what Donnie's concerned about, I'm sure, is just to take the right club and hit it hard. Don't hit it easy. Hit it hard here.
He took a rip at it. Excellent shot. Let's go back to the fifth hole.
Fifth hole is a 435-yard par 4. Greg Norman for birdie. Norman's even par through the first 4 holes, but it's been anything but easy. Up and down at 1, up and down in 2 for par. Great save for par at 4, where his tee shot went through the green. Typical final round pressures of a major championship. Wind beginning to pick up now. Early in the day it was dead calm, to now you see that breeze freshening, that flagstick moving in the wind. And this is Nick Price. Another one of those contingent of foreigners that we've talked about. Originally from Zimbabwe, we have a Spaniard, a German, an Australian. We've got Gary Player joining us. Gary, you like seeing these foreigners taking part here?
Well, Steve, I don't know. I don't believe in the word foreigners. I think we all just golfers playing all around the world.
Tell us about Nick Price.
I think that Nick Price really is what I'd call a very humble man and an outstanding gentleman. I think everybody likes Nick, and he's a very, very talented man, and I think he's going to do very well in the future.
Well, he certainly credits you with his presence on our tour. I think you initially brought him to this country or had something to do with it.
Well, I think it's his own talent that has done it, Steve.
Price with a bogey at 3 came back with a fine birdie at the long par 3 4th hole. He has some work left for par here. Nick Price on rounds of 79, 69, 63. Incredible 10 birdie 3rd round. New course record here at Augusta National. While we wait, let's go to 13.
And just the right time to watch Jay Haas go for birdie to go to 6 under for the day and the tournament. Just leaves it on the top lip. Let's go back to 5.
With that par, Price remains at 5 under, just as he started the day. This may be the easiest par Greg Norman's had thus far. That Norman remains at 6 under. Let's go to 6.
Bernhard Langer. But we'll have a considerable break from right to left. Moments ago, Steve Melnick talked with Bernhard Langer and asked him if it would be easier to win today than as the defending champion.
It's not going to make it a lot easier, but it might help a little bit because I've been in a similar situation last year and I won, so maybe I can do the same thing this year.
So, safely in, let's go to Brent Buster.
All right, Vern, let's take a look at some action earlier, Tom. This was Seve Ballesteros on the first hole.
A perfect drive to the center of the fairway. Probably played a short iron here to the back left pin placement. And it was an excellent shot, some 15 feet short of the hole.
He just missed the birdie putt, stayed one shot behind Greg Norman at the moment. And then it was Bernhard Longer's second shot.
Again, a perfect drive, but pulled his second shot to a very tough position to get the ball up and down from.
And he was able to do it, save par right there. And the man who has had to save par throughout this opening round has been Greg Norman.
Well, after a poor tee shot in the right woods, I'm sure nerves has something to do with that starting. He played a miraculous little chip and run right there because that is a very difficult shot that he played, and he put it up to within 3.5 feet.
So he saved par on the first hole, and then on the second hole, and the twosome just in front of him, it was Longer for the birdie.
Yes, this is from about 6 feet. Good putt, good solid putt, Brent.
Became one of the co-leaders. Back on 2, it was Norman for the par.
Well, he played his third shot from the bunker and sculled it over the green and had a very difficult fourth shot, which has to be played downhill through a little swale, and he saved par again.
Longer for par on the third hole.
Bernard has been playing very, very well, and again, leaves himself in a good position, you know, to make par.
Greg Norman finally had an easy hole. Just missing the birdie there on 3, but he makes his par. You know, Tom, there's a player we have overlooked a little bit here by the name of Tom Kite.
And this is at the 4th hole. That's Bernard Longer at the 4th hole. This is a long 220-yard downhill par 3. Very difficult hole, and he played a very good shot right there.
None more so than Greg Norman. This a par 3, 4th hole.
Probably a 2 or 3 iron, and Greg went over the top of this shot, pulled it, hit it through the green, and put himself again in a very, very difficult position to save par.
Here is Nick Price.
Well, if you're going to hit a long iron and hit it well, this is the perfect example of how it should look.
Now, Tom, let's show everyone Norman the magician.
Well, he's over there on the next tee almost, the 5th tee, Brent, so he has to chip the ball up through a swale, and then the ball goes downhill to the pin, past the pin, to within 3.5, 4 feet again. Believe me, that was a marvelous golf shot.
Price had lost a shot. This was for the birdie.
Really a much-needed birdie. It gives you a lot of confidence to come back after a bogey with a birdie, especially on hole number 4, Brent.
Tom, let me ask you, when you save par here again, what's the feeling? It can't get any worse. It's my tournament now, or do you get a little jittery and say, what's going to befall me in the holes ahead?
Well, this is number 6. Nick Price again, probably a 6-iron. Pins in the back part of the green. Good golf swing right there we're watching. He pulled his shot.
Let's go out to the hole now, Tom.
Well, that is the problem we talked about when we came on the air. That pin placed only 15 feet from the left edge. Saw John Manhattan this morning have problems getting it up and down from just about that same spot. Now Greg Norman. What a wonderfully scrambling first 5 holes he's had. This again is at par 3, 192 yards today, and the pin cut back left side. Tom, is that the most difficult pin placement on this green?
I wouldn't say so. They're all difficult out there. Really, the top right pin placement is the most difficult. If Greg plays a right to left shot and uses the bank to the right of the hole, he has a chance of getting this ball very close to the hole if it's hit properly.
It was 12 to 15 feet away from birdie at 6. Now we're back live, and this is Nick Price from the left-hand side.
So I can watch it stop if I don't walk it. No.
Now, Tommy, will he try and play a little bump and run shot here?
Well, Vern, I think this is the wonderful thing about Augusta, and a very confusing characteristic, because he has so many options. He can putt the ball, he can play a chip and run, or he can pitch it. I would say he'll probably play a chip and run. No, see, that's the confusing thing. He knows he has 3 ways to play this shot. Jerry, what do you think?
Well, I think it depends on how you're feeling at the moment, Brent. Sometimes you feel confident with a little lofted shot, and other times you feel confident with a bump shot. And that does vary from day to day, just like your feel varies from day to day.
Nick Price, second shot.
Ballesteros.
Well, he made the right decision. In for Nick Price's par 3. Not a tap in. He'll mark the ball, but that was really a well-executed shot. And Greg Norman, our co-leader. These greens have slowed down a little bit from the first 2 days, but they can still be treacherous. Early this morning, Ken Green, who was the first-round co-leader, 4-putted this 6th green. And had a 3-putt from 3.5 feet. Norman with rounds at 70, 72, and 68.
Vern?
Yes, Tom.
This putt appears to be flat. Believe me, it is not flat. It is downhill, it is very fast, and it'll break left to right. Good opportunity, though.
And this would put him back into sole possession of the lead, a position from which he started the day about an hour and 22 minutes ago. First birdie of the afternoon, and Greg Norman is back in sole possession of the lead in the final round of the 1986 Masters. Greg Norman's first birdie has put him at 7 under par. Ballesteros and Longer are just a stroke back, followed by Haas, Kite, and Nick Price.
Welcome to the new world, where all the rules have changed. A world of financial expertise to manage cash, build IRAs, finance mortgages, and a world of insurance protection for lives, health, and property. It's the world of the Travelers, one of America's strongest diversified insurance and financial experts. Have you looked under the Travelers umbrella lately?
Announcing the classic Cadillac for 1986, the rear-wheel.
Well, here at Augusta for the final round, it's kind of like us against the world, if you will. Sandy Lyle of Scotland is paired with Jack Nicklaus, the 5-time winner. Tommy Nakajima of Japan, he went out with Tom Watson. Seve Ballesteros of Spain, paired with Tom Kite. Donnie Hammond against the defending champion from West Germany, Bernhard Langer. And, of course, Nick Price of South Africa, and against Greg Norman, the Australian. And let's go quickly out to 9.
Greg Norman with a long iron at this, the equal shortest par 4 on the course at 360 yards, known as pampas for the grass that is growing in clumps behind the tee. And now Nick Price. Most of the players go with fairway woods and long irons. Here. That was a very aggressive swing. And a
splendid result. It's a very narrow little par 4 with 5 bunkers encircling the green as we go to the 9th.
When it goes right overhead,
Jay Haas. This is a par putt of about 15 feet. He's lifted short. Jay drops a stroke here now to go to 4 under par, and he's got to make some birdies real quick to try to get up towards the top of that leaderboard with just a few holes remaining. The problem we're going to have here on 14 today is the pin is cut right against this ridge, and any ball that's left short of that ridge is going to be very, very, very hard to get up and down. We have Seve Ballesteros, top of the leaderboard, at 8 under par, followed by Greg Norman, Bernhard Langer, Tom Kite, and Nick Price.
Moving into contention at 5 under. Gary Player, let me quickly follow up that question about us against the world, if you will. Why are the foreign players so much better today? What has happened to the game of golf?
Well, I think there's a great incentive now, and people have learned a lot about organizing, like from the Masters here all over the world. But let me just say one thing, that when Bobby Jones was here, he always said one of his greatest wishes was to see more international players. The same as the sponsors and the American public want to see their players line up against the best. I was amazed to see in the paper the other day, one man said it makes his blood boil to see all these foreigners doing well. He's not thinking very big.
No, the Olympics bring out some of the best in athletic competition, and if we get something like this going, I would think it would be great for golf.
I think the tour really needs that.
Gary, you, of course, were the first foreign player to win here. What does it take today as we go back out to the course to win the green jacket?
You've got to have everything going right, and I'm just choking just watching it here, really. This is marvelous.
Gary, thank you very much. Let's go out to the 7th hole.
And Greg Norman waiting for what is happening on the green, which involves Bernhard Langer, who is 6 under par, and Donnie Hammond, who is 3 under par. And that was a 4th shot of Bernhard Langer, who is obviously tangled with the trees that close in on you on both sides of this very short but deadly little par 4. So Langer in all kinds of trouble. Donnie Hammond, who started the day at 5 under par, made a bogey at the first hole. He birdied the second, but he bogeyed the third. And there's Seve Ballesteros, who is in trouble at the 9th hole, and that's where we'll go.
Up at the green, Tom Watson. That was his birdie putt. And from where he was, to stop it coming down that hill, about the only place to stop it is in the hole. Earlier today, we talked with Tom Watson about Augusta.
Experience is, I think, is a big factor because I've been there before. There have been several players that have been there before. Bernhard Langer, Ballesteros, Jack Nicklaus. I'm sure I've missed somebody who's been there. Going down the last 9 holes, you have to have that experience to judge what the wind's going to do, and pretty much know what it's going to take to win and do it.
That was Nakajima, and that was his par. We go back to 7.
And Bernhard Langer putting and making his bogey and dropping him back to 5 under par just as he started. His only birdie the second hole today. And this narrow little par 4 claims another victim as we look back to Greg Norman at 7 under par, alone in second place behind his friend and rival, Seve Ballesteros. It's only a 9-iron at most. But it's a shallow little green, and it is virtually surrounded by 5 bunkers. Spins back enough, that's going to give him still a very testing putt with a big right to left swing. Now, Nicky Price, who really played a very aggressive tee shot here, he's at 5 under par just as he started, with a bogey at the 3rd hole and that magnificent long iron shot at the 4th for a birdie. The hole is cut just 4 yards from the left-hand edge of the green, and that is the kind of thing that can happen when it is placed there. He's going to have a desperate downhill slider left to right from there. And we'll go over to the 10th.
That's Gary Koch, putting for par. Gary today is 2 over par, so he needs a few birdies on the back 9. He said he just hadn't been putting well this week, and you're not going to do very well if you don't putt at Augusta. No question about that. And we'll go to 15.
This was Jay Haas with a 3-wood just a few moments ago. And a wonderful looking shot that is. That's right at it. And Jay Haas has a great opportunity for a birdie here and could set a target now to the 9th.
Ballesteros in trouble, along with Kite. Kite's not in trouble, but that's his playing partner. Ballesteros is with difficulty. Back to the studio and Brent Musburger.
All right, Pat, thank you. And Gary Player has to catch a plane and get back, return to his home. Gary, would you like to tell us who you think might win this Masters? Would you like to pick a champion for us?
Well, I don't think you can ever win doing that, but if the best player wins, it'll be Ballesteros, because he is definitely the best player in the world. There's no question about that. He's got strength and finesse of a locksmith.
All right, thank you very much, Gary. Now let's go back out to the course.
Well, there he is. And he's going to need to be a locksmith to get this close. Tom Weisskopf, what do you think Gary meant by that?
By being a locksmith?
Yes.
Well, his touch is so fantastic. His ability with the short game is just that much better than anybody else. Not there, though, Pat. What he was protecting against, Pat, right there was the bunker that protected that pin from where he was. He's got some work cut out for him right now, though.
Does he indeed? He needs another key. Back to 15.
And now Ben Crenshaw with his second shot with a 3-wood from the best part of 240 yards. And another glorious golf shot comes in here at 1 under par for the day and the tournament. And as we go to the 7th hole, Nicky Price taps in for his par, having chipped quite elegantly from behind the green, and he will remain at 5 under par. Just 3 off the pace, but the pace likely to slacken off a little since Ballesteros is having all his problems at the 9th hole. Let's have a look at his chip shot down this glass. Oh, it's a putt. superb. Now Greg Norman with a really tricky putt. This green is traditionally very fast because it is exposed to the wind, which is distinctly freshening this afternoon. And there you see how these invaders have intruded in the last 8 years.
Ben, are you an invader?
You could say that.
We like you, Ben.
Thank you. Oh, that's way offline. That's left himself an awful lot of hard work to do to stay at 7 under par. And over to the 9th.
And Ballesteros. That's his 4th shot. And some work to do coming back for Seve. He has the outright lead at -8. Norman at 7. And that could all change in a moment. Kite is 5. Bernhard Langer, the defending champion, is 5. Nick Price is 5. Back to 7.
And this really important putt for Greg Norman. Of course, they're all important today, but this to remain at 7 under par. Little swing to the left. Nicely performed, and so Greg Norman stays at 7 under par as we go to the 9th.
Kite. And Thomas left himself ashore to 15.
Ben Crenshaw has this putt for an eagle. He knows it only too well. And it will go, I think, a little to the left. This is an unfamiliar pin placement for the final day. An interesting one in that it gets the players to go at this green. Well, he thinks it goes the other way, and he's right. And now he will have at least 4 feet coming back for his birdie. Green's getting distinctly treacherous after yesterday when they were only single cut and they were distinctly slower than normal. And now Jay Haas, who has this great opportunity for an eagle 3, and if he could get into the clubhouse at 6, 7, maybe 8 under par, he could really give all those players way out on the golf course a tremendous task to beat him. This one definitely does go left to right. Caught up in the fringe a little. It didn't take off at all helpfully for him, and back to the 9th.
Ballesteros. That's for 5. Tom Kite, Seve's playing partner, by the way, made his par, so he stays at 5. Ballesteros drops back to 7. We go to 10.
Earlier, Jack Nicklaus for birdie. To go 4 under par. The bear is stalking. Come on, Jack, smile. That's it. We won't count him out on this back 9. How many times has he played it and next to nothing to win? Back in the fairway, Tommy Nakajima. Driven it in the right trees, actually. I'm sorry. What a shot that is. Left himself some 7 or 8 feet to birdie. We'll go back to 15.
And Ben Crenshaw. Oh, dear. Well, that was virtually his last chance gone, so the 1984 champion will not repeat, and he will remain at 1 under par as we go back to the 8th.
Here we have Donnie Hammond. Probably got about 60 yards, third shot. That pin is cut back in the left of this green, which actually is a dog leg to the left green. Donnie looked like he chunked that a little bit, and he's got his work cut out for him here. He's got a good 50-footer up over this rise and then to a green where the pin is, slopes drastically from right to left. The last group that just went through here, nothing really happened. Tom Kite hold a 100-yard wedge, and then Seve hold a 125-yard wedge shot on top of him for 2 eagles. So we have at this time on our leaderboard, Seve Ballesteros, Greg Norman tied at 7 under par, followed by Jay Haas.
In the look-alike world of financial services, one stands out. It's one of America's strongest diversified financial experts. A fortress of insurance protection for group medical care and employee benefits. A master architect of financial growth.
Seve Ballesteros and Greg Norman are tied atop our leaderboard in the final round of the Masters at 7 under par, and just 2 strokes back, you can see 4 golfers right there. Out at 16, that par 3. Here's Jim Nance.
And Jay Haas on the tee. Backs away. Many of the players struggling in club decision today, either 5 or 6 iron. Haas put on a similar charge last year in the final round, shooting a 67 and finishing 5th, only 3 shots behind Lager. Coming off the birdie at 15. Jay Haas already 5 under on today's round, and only 4 feet away from moving within 1 shot of the lead. Let's go to 9.
Here we have Donnie Hammond. His approach putt from 50 feet or more. He is left easily 12 feet short. You can see Donnie walking up that high ridge there in the middle of this green, and then from where he is right now to the cup is straight downhill. Here we have Bernhard Langer on his 3rd shot. This was a little earlier. Mr. Green way to the right. And he is going to have a treacherous chip now. This ball will hit and release. And it's straight downhill now to the flag. Donnie Hammond live, 12-footer, save his par. Now he's got something left here to save his bogey. We'll mark and let Bernhard look this one over. Donnie has lost 3 shots to par here so far and needs to get it back in the birdie situations to get back in this golf tournament. This par 5 is 535 yards. Tee shot is uphill with a bunker off to the right-hand side of the fairway with a carry of about 260 yards. Next shot is straight uphill blind to a plateaued fairway. Green surrounded by 3 huge mounds on the left-hand side. Just to Bernhard's left right there. The green is about 70 feet deep and it swings straight away, right to left. putting cross-handed, so it must be outside of 15 feet there. He just hit it good 3.5 feet by the hole. Let's go to 16.
Shades of the old game show. Can you top this? Jay Haas had just put his tee shot within 4 feet of the cup here at 16. Then it was Ben Crenshaw's turn. The best of the day here at 16. To 10.
Back in the fairway, Tom Kite with a 4-iron. Tom's 5 under, 2 shots behind the lead.
Get him.
Stop now, stop. Boy, that is an excellent shot. Tommy Nakajima earlier missed a seemingly relatively easy birdie putt from about 8 feet, but they're just not easy. Back in the fairway, Seve from approximately 175. And we heard that Bernhard Langer has bogeyed number 8. Seve with a 6-iron. And he's just left it short, but in approximately the same position that Jack Nicklaus was in when he made that beautiful putt up the hill. And we'll go over to 8.
On the tee. We're in the fairway here. Second shot. Greg Norman. Greg looks like he's got a wooden club out, so he's going to have a whack at this green, looks like. That's from the green area, looking back down towards Greg. He didn't waste any of that right there. That's all he's got. Tom Weiskopf? That ball is left of those large mounds you see right there, down in the pine trees. To say the least, he is in serious problems right here. And we asked Greg Norman, how's he playing these par 5s?
Oh, definitely, yeah. I mean, if I can, like 15, for example, on still days like this, if I can get a 4 or 5 iron in my hand, it makes a big difference instead of hitting a 1 or 2 irons under that small target. So length is a big factor, especially on number 2. Number 8, I got it on front edge yesterday, so yeah, it has a big bearing.
And we're at 16. This is Crenshaw for birdie. I'm sure he wishes he could have his back 9 all over again from yesterday when he shot 4 over 40 and virtually shot him right out of the tournament. Jay Haas, moments before, missed a golden opportunity to move at 600. That may come back to haunt Mr. Haas. Nevertheless, an outstanding round going so far. 500 today and currently in a tie for 3rd. Let's go to 10.
Seve is summing up his putt here of some 28 feet, maybe 30 feet. This hole has been the scene in the past 2 years of the good news, bad news, if you will. The good news when Crenshaw made that fantastic 65-foot putt straight up the hill. And then last year, of course, when Curtis Strange 3-putted this hole and more or less gave it away on the back 9. So this could be the turning point for Seve right here after bogey in 9. Get back on the track. I notice how Seve holds the putter in his right hand and sort of swings it. He's just putting a little mindset in there, which gives him the touch for the putt. Quiet stroke, easy back, and accelerate through. This putt will work from Seve's right to his left. Again, not a bad putt. So Seve remains at 7 under. And tied for the lead. Seve said yesterday that he missed an awful lot of putts under 15 feet, and he just was a little disappointed, but he was happy with his position. And we'll go back to 8.
Here we have Nick Price hitting his 3rd shot. Now keep this shot to the right of the flag. Try to get over that mound, and now the ball will roll slowly towards the flag. Let's go to 11.
Nicklaus to move 5 under. Is it enough? Is it enough? Yes! Three birdies in a row for Nicklaus. 9, 10, 11. Back to 8.
And here we have Greg Norman with an absolutely impossible shot. He did very, very good to get that ball in the green. Let's go back to 11.
Sandy Lyle for par out of the back bunker, but it's Jack Nicklaus, the man of the hour. It's been 11 years since he donned that 5th green jacket. The crowd stands as one in admiration. To 10.
Earlier, Tom Kite for birdie. Tom just never hit that putt. Steps in for his par, and he remains 5 under. So Seve and Greg Norman are 2 shots out in front of Jay Haas and charging Jack Nicklaus.
Tell Mommy I'm... It's like the days of old here at Augusta when Jack Nicklaus moves to the top of that leaderboard. You can tell by the sounds when someone like a Nicklaus or an Arnold Palmer makes a move. Out to 8.
Here you see Greg Norman's birdie attempt, rolling down towards the flag. Rolling and rolling. The Shark hit his 2nd shot. He will be very happy to get that 5 and get out of here. This green on your 2nd shot, you just do not want to miss this green to the left. Anything to the right is very, very playable. Let's go to the 12th hole.
162 yards, probably a 6-iron. Way left. I have a feeling Jack was probably trying to play the shot safely. He just pulled it from where he was aiming. He rarely aims at that pin in the back right portion. And I think that was just a matter of pulling it about 5 yards to the left. Nicklaus birdied the 11th and the 12th yesterday. Son Jackie caddying for him this week. Current British Open champion, Sandy Lyle. Sandy won under par in his round today. 3 under in all.
Make your mind up with it over that bunker.
It's the hardest thing to do here. Sometimes it comes more a test of your nerves than it does a test of your skill. Lyle probably going with a 7-iron. And he too going left. It's up on the bank and got a great bounce almost to the green surface. Not a very good shot by Sandy, but a good break. Nicklaus only 2 back. Lurking, lurking, lurking. 2-8.
Here we have Nick Price. His attempt for a birdie. Once again, the ball's falling off to the left of the hole. Nick will remain at 5 under par. Believe he can handle that one. That was earlier. We'll go to 9.
The wind has picked up considerably.
Big drive.
Yeah. The reaction's good. Everyone seems to be pleased, including Greg Norman, and that should be the case. That's a good drive. Perfect. Up on the green, the defending champion. That's par for him. And Langer goes to 10. In the meantime, back on the tee is Nick Price. Birdied 10 out of the last 15 holes yesterday. You stop and think about that one. Over to 17.
Jay Haas just 2 strokes off the lead. Second shot.
Be the right fit.
It is on this par 4. Haas about 20 feet away to go 6 under. Let's go to the 11th hole.
Tom Watson now. Tom has dropped 1 shot to par today. He's now at 3 under. No birdies, only a bogey at the par 3 6th hole. Bob Murphy, I know that Tom Watson has struggled with his game thus far.
He is that, Steve. What I wanted to say was I couldn't help but notice Nicklaus seems to be much more comfortable and more crouched. I'll wait till Tom putts here.
Putt that'll swing from his right.
What I was saying, Steve, is, and you've watched Jack as much as I have, that he seems to be more behind the ball with his hands higher.
Seems to be working. Nicklaus, tough shot. Long green. Well, that's 60 feet. This is not the strength of his game, and it continues to plague him. He's got about an 8-footer for par. Watch Jack through the first 3 rounds hit the ball so well from tee to green and make virtually nothing once he got there. Now, this is Sandy Lyle. And a fan shot by Sandy. The benign conditions yesterday allowed so many players to take advantage of Amen Corner. A lot of birdies at 11, even more so at 12. And not much wind today. Not in the sense that it's a real factor anyway. Back on 11, Tom Watson got his par. Jack going with that new, larger bladed putter. It's an awkward looking thing to look at. Evidently it works though. Son Jackie being a big help reading the greens. Fine golfer in his own right. I think if the truth be known, Nicklaus's vision is not as good as it used to be as we go forward to 17.
Jay Haas for sole possession of 3rd place. Nope. 31 in the front. Even par so far in the back. And he has to settle for par here on 17. and will remain at 5 under. Let's go to the 9th hole.
A 9, a par 4, 435 yards in length. Nick Price. Come back down the slope a bit. No, it hangs up back to 12.
Stuff that should move from the right. Move the other way. Seve Ballesteros at the top of the hill at 11. About a 5-iron. It's not the kind of shot you'd expect from Seve. He was about 180 yards, but a lot of green to work with. Perfect pin placement for the shape of his shot. A moment ago, Tom Kite. Kite, now remember, at 5 under par. What a gorgeous shot that is. Back to 9.
Greg Norman. That's a fine shot. Nobody really has been able to get that close. Norman, the co-leader, -9. He and Ballesteros, both at -7. If anything, the wind has freshened a bit, and the scores might be more difficult as they go down the back stretch and around Amen Corner over to 15.
Where the sartorially elegant Payne Stewart has this putt for a birdie. And that takes him to 5 under par, and he and Haas are going to get home early and give those gentlemen on the golf course a lot to think about if they can keep up this pace. We hear that Payne Stewart has already missed 2 putts of inside 2 feet, so he could have been measured for a jacket maybe had those gone in. Still, he has a great shot at it. Over to the 10th.
Back in the fairway, Bernhard Langer from approximately 160 yards. I would imagine this would be a 7-iron. Bernhard has not done what he wanted to do and needed to do, and that was go out and make a few birdies. Trying to play a nice high draw. And he's left this quite a bit short and left. And not an easy putt for birdie again. And we'll go back to 9.
And the last 2 of the day, Nick Price and Greg Norman. This is Price. Something left. We were talking earlier about that round he shot yesterday, and he broke the course record of 64 with his 63. He almost made 62. 10 out of the last 15 holes he birdied. Amazing. Ballesteros and Norman at the -7, tied for the lead. Then Haas, Payne Stewart, and the rest of the board. Co-leader. With the watch on his right arm. some birdies. However, that's par. .211.
Ballesteros just on the front edge, trying to two-putt for par. Well, he misread the speed in the sense that the slope took it to the left. Let's go to 9.
Price. To stay at 5 under. That's 5. 211.
And Tom Kite moves to within 1 of the lead. Well, that birdie moves to 6 under. Tom Kite's record here at Augusta, second to none. He has everything but a green jacket. And now the man who owns 2 green jackets in 1980 and 1983. This for par. This to remain tied with Greg Norman at 7 under. Going right back up the hill. Got it. Ballesteros and Norman at 7 under. Now Tom Kite lurking 1 shot back. Austin Stewart at 5 under par.
Nick Price on the tee. This beautiful par 4, dogleg left. Down the hill, the ideal tee shots. A nice draw right to left.
Beauty, Nick. Beauty there.
And someone certainly liked it. And well, they should. Right in the heart of the fairway and long. Earlier, this was Greg Norman. It's a bad shot. Crash. And hello, there it is. But I'm afraid he's left himself some 300 yards away. And we'll go back to 12.
This is Watson for par. Watson remains 3 under. Struggling with his game. Go 4 to 18.
Jay Haas.
Go. Get up.
He hit a 5 iron up on the green, and great round for Jay Haas. And the applause now for Ben Crenshaw. Over to 12.
Tee shot, Tom Kite. Put it just through the green. Kite came here in 1984, 1 shot out of the lead, and put his tee shot in the water. It's no surprise that he took the safer route, left, didn't even put the pin in play here. Probably a good break for Ballesteros in that Kite played first. You can get a rating on what club to play. Looks like he's about a half club longer than Tom with his mid-irons. P2 playing left. Tom Weisskopf, I think more than anything, that's a sign of maturity for Ballesteros. You saw him give the thumbs-up sign to his caddy. He never fired at the flag.
But Steve, you cannot let your ego get in your way out there at 11 and 12. And he realizes the penalties are so severe They're a patient type of hole. In other words, you have to play them conservatively. You always have to play the percentages at 11 and 12. Par is always a good score.
Let's go back to 10.
First, I must apologize. I was wrong about where Norman's ball kicked out. He's about 215 yards. I thought the ball was up the hill more than it is. So this is a fantastic break. He needs to keep the ball under the tree. You can see on his left there, the branches hang out over the fairway. Selected a 4-iron. That might seem a long shot to many of us. However, standing on the downhill, he will shut the blade down some. So as a result, it'll be a very strong 4-iron shot. The pin is cut right in the center back of the green. He hit it hard and low, but I'm afraid he's pulled it way left into the gallery. And it's gone over there. He might have gotten another break here. He may have hit a spectator and stopped short of going way down the hill. But I'm afraid there's a pine tree right there that may come into play.
I hit somebody, I hope.
You heard him say, I hit somebody, I hope. Not hard and hurt him, but just hit him and stop. We'll go to 13 first.
Your first look of today at the 13th hole. Jack Nicklaus with a perfect drive down the left-hand side close to the creek. He's 210 yards to the hole. He only needs 175 to carry the water. Absolutely perfect drive for the position of the pin today. At a level lie, one of the few you find on this fairway. Going to be just a little bit left, but it's right on target. Hits the middle of the green and checks up, leaves himself about 40 feet. How important that might have been or will be, thinking going back to making bogey at 12. But what a fantastic birdies at 9, 10, and 11. Only to bogey 12, but he's 2 putts away for birdie to go back to 5 under, and still it's a lot of golf left. And let's go back to 12.
Tom Kite, from just over the back of the green, when you talk about the strength of this man's game, you're looking at it right now. Let's go back to 10.
In the fairway with an 8-iron. Nick Price. Big, high, drawing shot. Watch this. Just skirts the edge of the hole and almost went in. We'll go back to 13.
And I guess all the way home now to the 18th, he will hear this same applause in tribute of a 5-time Master champion. And his Valentry today at 4 under par. A tribute well deserved. And let's go back to 12 right now.
Second shot for Kite. You know he can't be happy with that. Kite began the hole never trying to make birdie, and now he's going to have to work hard to make par as we go back to 10.
And the troubles of Greg Norman. Greg, you can see doing a little house cleaning there. His ball hit short of the gallery and then pitched into the people and hit someone and stopped. So I'm presuming that he has a shot. I don't know, however, if he can come straight at the hole. We'll see in a moment. And or whether or not that tree in back of him is in play. Is his swing restricted? Yes, he's taking a funny stance here. What he's doing is closing the face of the club, taking a short backswing so that the ball will come off sharply at a left angle to go as... And he's just hit it much too hard. and run through and over the green and into the bunker and over to 12.
Ballesteros for birdie. He never factored 2 into his equation here at 12. Played the hole to make 3. That's what he made. Yesterday in his round of 72, he only missed 2 greens. Frustrating day when he played so well from tee to green. He's been laying back patiently, letting others make mistakes. He's played solidly today. To 10.
Greg Norman set to play. Taking a look at his lie, I imagine the ball, as slow as it was going into the bunker, it probably didn't make it to the bottom. So he has somewhat of an uphill lie. Sitting cleanly, however. And there you can see his stance. It is uphill. And that needs to hurry. But not bad. We'll go back to 12.
Kite to save par. What a fine effort. Kite put those problems in the past at 12 to rest. Let's go 4 to 13.
Jack Nicklaus surveying this some 45-footer from the center of the green. Makes it difficult here is now the long shadows. He has to go, his ball is in the shadow of one of the tall pines and goes from the sun into the shadow, which is hard to really see the breaks. But by no means to make it would be a miracle, but it still has a chance. He is must have some confidence, of course, missing the one at 12 for par, but he made some pretty good putts at 9, 10, and 11. Jack at 4 under par. And back in the fairway, the players are watching Jack play. Watson and Tommy Nakajima, who hit thunderous drives out there. So Nicklaus now, from 45 feet, uphill. It doesn't really do very much. It won't break too much to the right. If he doesn't make 3, he really has to walk away with 4 to have any chance at all. Amazing with all this people, the silence. Gotta go. It's gotta go. If it was harder, it might have missed on the left anyway, I believe, but it's a good lag putt. He'll have that short putt for birdie and make up for the bogey at 12. He'll go back to 5 under par. Even though it is birdie, he will not make up the stroke he lost at 12. You just can't make him up. So we'll go back to 10.
Greg Norman's putt for bogey. And that is a double bogey. Greg's second double bogey on this hole. He 4-putted this hole earlier this week. Nick Price for birdie. And that's a good birdie, and that'll get Nick back on the play the back nine the way he did yesterday en route to 63. Having a little tougher go today. So Greg Norman has kicked away 2 shots here at the 10th hole, and Seve maintains the lead.
Tell Mommy I'm on my way.
General Motors is embarking on an odyssey down roads paved with technological wonders that might seem...
Oh, my Scott, Tom, doesn't get any better than this.
No, it doesn't. Each of these players within 2 strokes, or any player, controls their own destiny now. They have to make the decision whether to play conservative on certain holes that are coming up, or whether to take the bold approach and risk losing the tournament.
All right, let's go out to the 13th now. Here's Ken Venturi.
Tom Kite on the tee at 13. Must make it go right to left, get as close down that side. Perfect position. Perfect drive. What a beautiful drive. He will definitely be shooting at the green on his second shot. And Ballesteros now, with his length, holes, I believe, the next three are really made for his tee shots. He can draw each one of them. 13, 14, and his length will help him at 15. But this is the task at hand right now, the tee shot at 13. Looking anxiously. He hit it fine. Right out there where it's tight. And that is two good drives. And just a moment ago, in front of them, Tom Watson's second shot from 170 yards. You can tell you how big that tee shot was. And he has that left for eagle. That would put him to 5 under. We are looking at a tremendous amount of explosive players with 6 holes left to play. 6 and 5 holes. These people can solid put some numbers on you. And I don't know of many of them here that back off. Let's go back to the studio and Brent Musburger.
Ken, quickly, we're with Jay Haas, who turned into 67 at 5 under in the clubhouse. Jay, now for the rest of the field coming in, what awaits them down the stretch here?
I had a little trouble at 14. I misjudged just a little bit there. The pin, I've never seen it where it was today. It's on the slight downslope on the right side. The best position is back edge or past the pin, and I was trying to get a little too close there and spun it down the hill, made a 5 there. But the wind's really not a factor out there today. Course is playing about the same as yesterday. It's yielding a lot of birdies, I think.
All right, Jay, congratulations. Thank you for dropping by. Let's go out to 13 again, and here's Ken Venturi.
Tommy Nakajima, who hit his second shot just over the green, and this is a very delicate little chip shot. Got to come up over a rise to a plateau, and then it starts downhill, and once it starts over the hill and gets within about 15 feet, it begins to pick up speed. And not many people from this position have got it within 4 or 5 feet today. Nakajima with 1 over today, 3 under for the tournament. Here's a pretty good touch right here. Now just get over, but he'll lose it to the right. It'll break down. And we've seen that more times. You think it's not fast? Just take a look at that one right there. That's a good 12, 14 feet to the right and down the hill. It's been almost impossible to get the ball anywhere near the hole from back of the screen. As we watch here, Tom Watson lining up. Here's some finishing scores for you. Larry Mize today had 65. Sam Randolph will be low amateur because he's the only amateur to make the cut. Billy Cratchit did well. Crenshaw and Jay Haas, what a good pairing that was today. They both played excellent. As we have a moment, we'll go back to 11 for a second.
Greg Norman's second shot from about 180 yards. Norman, who's been fighting a swing all day long. To 13.
Tommy Nakajima for birdie up the hill. And again, it's been missed that same way so many times. It's easy to read them when you sit here and watch numerous amount of players putt. So Nakajima will settle for par as we go to 17.
This is Payne Stewart for par. He was 18 feet away for birdie. And with that putt may go his hopes for this year. He's back to 14.
Jack Nicklaus looking over his second shot. Dead center of the fairway. He's got 155 yards to the flag. One thing Jack is going to make sure he does here is get over this crest that runs right through the front of this green. Jay Haas said it very well there just a minute ago. You want to get the ball past the flag here. If you're short of this green, you've got a lot of problems. Jack is hit right back there in the back of the green. You can make 4 from there. It's very difficult to make 4 short of this green. Let's go 13.
Well, you saw the result. Tom Watson tapped it in for his birdie, and there's no need to say what happened on the first putt. He lost it on the low side, disappointing, because if he had made that eagle, I'm telling you, Tom Watson would have come out of the chute at 14 with everything flying. And been waiting back in the fairway. Ballesteros and Kite. Ballesteros is 195 yards. Cannot afford to lose it to the right here whatsoever. After Bale left. That is right in the middle, almost where Nicklaus hit it. In fact, he's running up. Watch out. Here it comes. Here it comes. What a beautiful shot. The difference between Nicklaus's and Ballesteros' shot is that Ballesteros' shot released and Nicklaus just grabbed up. He has got that with about 8 feet for eagle. And you can tell, I think he likes it. Tom Kite had a marvelous drive. Tom Kite has to look at that from the fairway. I think he was thinking maybe with a good shot he might pick up a shot or so on. Taking a good look at it. Tom Kite just about the same distance. Tommy, is always something to watch another ball up there when you're trying to catch the guy, and he's got an eagle up there.
That was a great shot, and I'm sure he's disappointed, but he has to forget about that pin and attack that pin, I feel.
Attack it he is. He's right on line. Get up, Paul. You've got to go. And just the opposite of Ballesteros is he's checked up like Nicklaus is. So Ballesteros played his to run a little bit and ran to within 8 feet, but Tom Kite will be a good 35 feet away, right on the same line that Ballesteros is. So not only will Kite putt first, but Ballesteros will be able to watch the line and the break as Kite's ball comes to the hole. And Ballesteros walking down the right side of the fairway. Fine applause. Well deserved. As we go to 18 quickly.
And just a moment ago, Calvin Pete for birdie. Good day for Calvin. Back to 13.
Nothing good,
We'll go to 14 first.
Jack Nicklaus from behind the green. A downhill pitch shot of about 40 feet. Jack threw it into the fringe. He's going to let the ball go down. This looks real good. He said he's a bad chipper. Jack is, this hole here, 14th hole, is sandwiched between 2 par 5s, 13, which you have to be very aggressive, and 15, which you have to be very aggressive to win this championship. This hole, you cannot be aggressive at all today. You will walk away with a bogey. Sandy Lyle now at the front of this green. That's the bottom of that swale you see right behind Sandy. You can see the depth of it just by the way those people are standing. That wasn't the best of efforts right there. Sandy will mark and clean his ball. Try to figure out why that putt went the other way. Let's go to 15.
Corey Pavin made a magnificent eagle on Saturday. Here's another opportunity to repeat the feat from 30 feet, gathering pace, and he is suddenly right in the middle of it at 6 under par. Corey Pavin started the day 2 under par, had it to 4 under coming in here, and is now in great shape as we go to the 13th.
Tom Kite taking a good look at this. He very well knows what he has to do. He knows his position. There's a scoreboard to the left of the 14th tee, but he's playing with the leader, so he really isn't concerned about what everybody else is doing, because right now you have to beat Ballesteros if you're going to win the Masters. Tom Kite 35 feet uphill and move to his right. And right almost across Ballesteros' coin. That's way too high. And he's about 2.5 feet way too high. Ballesteros did not even watch the ball roll. He didn't even look at it. He wanted to form his own opinion. Sometimes that's pretty good, because you can be influenced by someone else's stroke, and it's not what you really see. Let's go to 17 quickly.
Curtis Strange, memories of a year ago. Well, that's not going to win in the green jacket, but it'll provide some solace for the day. Out of the bunker with his third shot. It'll go to even par. We go to 13.
Right now, I believe you're looking at the hammer. Right here, this is something. He's 7 under and leading by 114 quickly.
Here we have Tom Watson. His second shot.
He'll be right.
Oh, how's that? And that's about the closest one we've seen today.
Ballesteros, this could give him a 3-stroke lead if he makes this for his second eagle of the day. Hello? Dead flat center. He goes to 9 under par, leaving the 13th hole. A 3-shot lead over Pavin and Kite. And Kite still has to make this putt. I would hate to think that a 3-shot lead with 5 holes to play, Ballesteros would be one man I wouldn't care to try to catch too often. Kite really is taking his time, not because I don't think he really is that unsure about the putt. He has to gather his composure, making birdie and losing a shot. Made a beautiful save at 12. This can put him at 7 under, 2 behind, with 5 great holes left. And Kite and Ballesteros lead 13, going to 14, and Ballesteros leading Kite by 2 shots. And now it's just let's wait and see what happens as we go to 16.
And a red-hot Corey Pavin on the tee. He's played this hole 4 over the first 3 rounds, and he doesn't like this one either. Exactly what happened yesterday. He followed up the eagle at 15 with a shot in the water at 16. Made a double bogey.